It is the year 79 AD. The sun beats down on the Italian peninsula. In the Bay of Naples, the air is warm with the scent of citrus blossoms and salt. From high atop its slopes, Mount Vesuvius broils under the midday sun. Its peak glistens white against the impossibly blue sky. It is an idyllic day in the Roman world. And in the city of Pompeii, it's just another Saturday. At the Forum, merchants hawk their wares. Shopkeepers lean out of their stalls to call out prices. Customers haggle over fish, produce, and fine garments. The Forum bustles as it always does. Life here seems untouched by care or worry. But unbeknownst to these ancient Romans, their last evening has begun. We have moved to a new apartment. This is my first video back after a month away. We're still unpacking boxes, which is why today we are visiting the ruins of Pompeii. We arrive at the Porta Marina, the sea gate that leads into the city. But instead of entering immediately, we turn right and head towards the excavated barracks of the Vigilium, the fire station. The frescoes here are beautiful. They feature scenes of daily life alongside mythological subjects. These frescoes would have been painted for the men who lived here, the elite soldiers who protected Pompeii from fires and crime. Their job was essential. And so this Vigilium was considered quite luxurious for barracks. There's even a gym and rooms set aside for guests. But more importantly, there were permanent sleeping quarters. For soldiers elsewhere in the empire, barracks were a place to sleep if you had to. Here in Pompeii, they were considered a privilege, a reward for service. As the soldiers made their rounds through the city, they may have patrolled near the triangular forum. This open space, originally a market, became a hub for civic activity. Here political clubs would meet and hold events. Here merchants gathered to discuss business. Here people came to be seen. And while it's impossible to know what they discussed, we can be sure their conversations often turned to the great Mount Vesuvius. Now, the mountain has been quiet for many years, but before it fell silent, it had been bellicose, prone to sudden and violent temper tantrums. We don't know how much Pompeii's citizens worried about Vesuvius because nobody left any written records. But we do know that the locals built shrines to the mountain's spirit and held festivals in its honor. One of those festivals, the Vulcanalia, honoring the blacksmith god Vulcan, was celebrated each August. And because we know that the last eruption happened in October, it's possible that the citizens of Pompeii saw themselves safe from the volcano's fury, believing the worst of its anger had already passed. From the triangular forum, we make our way to the basilica, the heart of the civic center. This structure was used for courts, elections, and public meetings. On this particular evening, it was probably empty. Its grandeur would not have gone unnoticed, however, and the people of Pompeii may have gathered outside to admire its arches and marble columns. Those who looked up to the mountain might have seen smoke curling lazily from its peak. Those who didn't look up were more likely to notice the beautiful evening sky, so they may have sat outside their homes enjoying the view and planning for the next day. A father might have tucked his son into bed and read him a story from the Iliad. A mother might have sewn while humming a tune to her daughter braiding her hair. Couples might have strolled hand in hand through the winding streets, lovers whispering sweet nothings to each other. Families planned meals together, sharing jokes and stories while preparing food in their kitchens. Meals were a big deal in Roman culture. They weren't just about sustenance. They were about family, community, and celebration. And in Pompeii, they were delicious. Ingredients from all over the empire could be found here. Fresh fish from the sea, grain from Africa, fruit from Spain, wine from France. If it was grown or caught somewhere else in the Roman world, chances are it could be found in Pompeii. Some would have eaten dinner early, others later. Some ate quickly, others slowly. But all would have noticed the shadows lengthening across the cobbled streets. Everyone knew that sunset came early in the winter, but none knew that tomorrow would not see sunrise. None felt the danger in the rumble of distant thunder. None heard the omen of falling ash in the afternoon. All went about their business as normal, secure in the knowledge that life would continue as normal tomorrow. At the Thermopolium, the public bathhouse, groups of friends washed and scraped and massaged their bodies. Older men supervised as children splashed around in the pools. Lovers met in the tepidarium, the warm room where couples could bathe together. The walls were decorated with paintings of athletic competitions, maybe to inspire patrons to keep fit, or maybe just because they were pretty. Whatever the reason, The art here was top-notch. Outside, a wood-fired oven glowed orange, fueled by the burning desire to feed the masses. The baker worked methodically, shaping loaves and stoking the fire. He would work late tonight. There would be no deliveries tomorrow, and he wasn't the only one working late. Crosstown, a tavern owner polished cups and prepared bottles for the night ahead. Villagers stopped by after the baths, refreshed and ready for a drink. Slaves poured wine and beer. Patrons shouted for their favorite drinks. Music drifted out of an open doorway, carried on the breeze along with the scent of roasting meat. Inside the villa, the party was in full swing. Marble floors gleamed beneath crystal chandeliers. Guests reclined on couches, eating, drinking, and singing. Across the courtyard, the master of the house gestured to a slave, who poured more wine. Meanwhile, on the upper slopes of Mount Vesuvius, the earth rumbled and the first tremor shook the ground. A dog barked in the distance. Was it a wild animal or a falling star? Who could say? What everyone saw, however, was the flash of bright light on the horizon. Some thought it was fireworks. Others thought a villa had caught fire. Only a few understood the truth. The mountain was stirring. The end was nigh. In the darkness, people ran through the streets, desperately trying to escape the suffocating ash cloud. They ran towards the hills, away from the encroaching darkness. They ran towards the coast, hoping the sea could save them. They ran in circles, unable to find a way out of the nightmare. Families huddled together, embracing for one last time. Lovers sealed their affection with a final kiss. Friends held each other close, whispering words of comfort and sorrow. Parents cradled their children, shielding them with their own bodies. But no amount of love could stop the searing hot ash and pumice. It filled their mouths, their eyes, their lungs. It burned their skin, poisoned their blood. And as the darkness consumed them, it brought them peace. In the end, there was no pain, only peaceful slumber. And as the first rays of sunlight touched the ruins of Pompeii, there were no birds to sing and no breath to stir the ashes. And so Pompeii slept one final time. This video is based on the fictional reimagining of Pompeii's last day, the final hours before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. We visited some of the most famous sites in the ruins, but there are so many more places to explore. We would love to visit every site in Pompeii, including the incredible Villa dei Misteri. Unfortunately, it's currently closed to the public. Hopefully, it will reopen soon. If you would like to see it for yourself, let us know by hitting the like button. Also, thank you to all our supporters. Your support makes videos like this possible.